Have you been wanting more touch and intimacy in your relationship but don't know how to get it? If so, this Naked Talk's for you. Naked Talk is where we get naked in a conversation on sexuality, intimacy, and relationship. We strip down and expose the bare facts so that you can learn what it takes for your love to thrive. I'm Elizabeth Wood.
And I'm Dan Powers with Beyond the Bedroom.
Hi everybody, today we are here in this Naked Talk episode with our new friend, Marin Fritas. Did I pronounce that the correct way? Way to go. I'm
just going to use Mari.
We're here with Mari, and she's going to be talking with us about couples massage. Mari is, did I hear it right, 19 years as a professional massage therapist, and she's got lots of tricks and tools so that she can help educate you to get some of the touch that you may be missing. So
before we get into that, here we are on the new cruise still, and we've been meeting all sorts of really cool and exotic people. And like I said in the last Naked Talk we did, what do you get when you bring 2,000 people who like to get naked together for 10 days on one ship? Well, we get a lot of workshops out of it. So we were lucky and fortunate enough to meet Mari, who has been teaching some tantra and couples erotic massage, or couples massage classes.
Couples loving massage.
Couples loving massage. Okay, I should have looked that up beforehand, but I forgot.
That's the one that we attended, and we thought it was really special. It just, you could look, I looked occasionally around the room, and you just saw the faces, whoops, probably covered my mic, the faces of the couples who were beside us. And it's just such a wonderful atmosphere that you created. When did you move? How long have you actually been teaching couples to massage each other?
So I started in the 90s as a massage therapist, and just doing corporate massage, your basic sort of factory-style massage, trying to bring some relaxation, the alternative coffee break, if you will, getting them out of the desk. And I noticed that as I was working on people, they said, hey, Mari, I know you do massage, but what about, could you come and work with my wife and I, or could you come work with my husband and I? We get so wrapped up in the day-to-day busyness of life, kids, work, all these obligations, socializing, that they stop spending time with one another. So a great way is to start with just booking an appointment, like you would, in your calendar, to spend time with your sacred partner. And that's sort of how it evolved, going over and offering massage in home or at my studio, and formulated a routine based on real life professional massage techniques, and then softening it and juicing it up to become more sensual. Bringing in aspects of Tantra, but for some people that word is a real scary word because people think Tantra sex, and I like to say that Tantra is about maybe only 10% of it actually involving intercourse, and the other part being awareness and intimacy and sacred sexuality and wakening up the divine in each of us and coming together in a way of being on your spiritual path and sexual path and merging them together.
Yeah,
kind of a dance.
Right, and if you look at the Tantra Sutras, there's only like 6 out of 112 that are related to sex. There's so much more that's involved with Tantra. But of course in Neo-Tantra, we've focused it all on sex.
The genitals.
That's right, great.
So, specifically in the class that we took, you asked couples to not touch genitals.
Correct. That's easy.
Yeah,
that's easy.
Well, do you think so? Because isn't that typically where the guys want us to focus in that world? It's like, so it's kind of like I have to touch the rest of his body.
Yeah, now what? Like I know how to touch a penis. I know how to give him pleasure that way. But yeah, our skin is our largest organ in our body, and we forget how to stroke each other's arm, like the inside of the arm, the outside of the arm, between the fingers. They can be very sensual and very erotic, and moving energy and breathing together. So so challenging couples to touch other parts of the body can be some work at first.
Now, I'm just sorry, making sure that we keep track of time here. And I got a little distracted as she was massaging herself. What I found was that there were some people who really needed to learn the different techniques and strokes that you were giving them, because it's not, if you will, often that I think people are going to massage and receiving massage more often now, but learning how to actually give that to your partner. I saw a lot of hesitancy at first, but your voice and your skill of like, just raise your hand, I'll pop right over and help you. You had some, and you actually, they were all French. You had some directives as to how to teach people how to start their stroking.
Correct. So things like effleurage, a long gliding stroke. It rolls off the tongue nicely. Effleurage. Petrissage, a kneading technique which brings more blood flow to the body, which can be great for when you're wanting to stimulate and excite, or when you're wanting to slow down your petrissage, your kneading, your ringing, your rocking, your twisting technique to sort of sedate your lover. So, combining and learning the dance of how to move from one technique to another, or do some light rocking and some vibration techniques. So just, again, learning the dance between the two partners, learning how to melt and mold that together, but also not just sort of laying there sort of like a dead fish and just receiving, because so often we go for like a professional massage and we just lay and we receive and we zone out and we check out. But in Tantra, we're trying to reawaken the ability to be present, to be with your lover, to melt and as two candles melt together, and be giving each other feedback. We know that with honoring and appreciating our partner and touching each other in a really loving and supportive way, it opens up the heart. And what happens when you open up the heart? It leads to better and greater sex. So start opening up your beloved's heart, and you will find that magic will await you on the other side.
Yeah, deeper connection, more joyous life. Yeah, absolutely.
And I heard you invite people so often in the class to use a voice, to use murmur. If they weren't words, make sounds. What's the importance of that, other than not laying there like a dead fish?
Correct. So in Tantra, the three principles and the keys to ecstasy and a higher state of awareness are breath and movement and sound. And we can thank a woman by the name of Margo Anand, who is a psychologist and was from France, and brought over all of the Eastern techniques of Tantra to the West. So she learned from a lot of yoga and a lot of spiritual teachers, and she wrote an incredible book. It's like the Bible by my bed. It's a book on ecstasy and her workbook, as you will. And she used to teach this work in around the world. She now has other instructors, and I actually had the joy of taking her class back in the 90s.
Lucky
doing her teacher training. She has 3 different modules where we learned all about exercises and activities for breath and movement and sound. But really starting with yourself. She talks a lot about getting to know your own inner lover. I mean, it's true. If we're not comfortable in our own skin and comfortable knowing our body and how our body works, how can we then truly share that with another person? So a lot of her meditations and spiritual practices start first with us coming back to ourselves and learning these 3 key principles, which are, again, breath, movement, and sound. So during the massage, I welcome couples to open up their eyes and do a very basic principle of eye gazing. And we know that when we look into somebody's eyes and really truly see one another, that's a great place to start. And then start moving in your movements and your breath and expanding the joy.
And that's really tough for some people, just the eye gazing. I know in some of the workshops that we've done or participated in even, there's been people that just can't look at each other's eyes, and that's such
sad.
It really is sad. It's a gateway to our soul, as they say, and I would say practice.
Yeah. Into me you see, so intimacy. Oh, beautiful.
And it's a great practice to start with just a few seconds of concentrated eye gazing. I don't think any of us is sitting here asking you to do 10 minutes a day, because it can be incredibly profound and incredibly moving. So you want to start with those baby steps and build in, and really it's actually another thing. It's like if you're making that dedicated time to spend time with each other, therefore intimate time with each other, and then eye gazing, as you become more familiar with it, it just can, as
drop
you say,
you right down into just your true self. And we're really all about love. I mean, what do we want in life? We want love. We want our love to be received. So, you know, I say, before you even start with your partner, start with yourself every morning, all right? When you get up and you brush your teeth, set a timer or so, and just really be with yourself in the mirror, and just drop down and breathe, and just see, challenge yourself to do that, and start there. And then when you move to your partner, maybe start just looking into one eye. Sometimes it's hard to focus on both eyes, so we talk about looking into the right eye being the receptive eye, and just sort of drop into that and go there. You'll be amazed at how you will, like, people's hearts, you will feel this opening, and how people's hearts today even were breaking open, and tears were flowing, and couples that had been married, you know, 20, 30, 35 years together, shedding tears and sharing joy. I mean, my hair was standing up on end. I had little goosebumps.
Little hair that she has on her arm compared to something like this.
It was so touching, and after the class, couples coming up afterwards and just saying what a huge opening and this has been for them, and you know, how I encourage everybody to continue a real introductory practice. You know, go to your different locations or your clubs and find out what's offered. I mean, you'd be amazed if you just check in your community what's available.
Yep. And Esther Perel talks about this a lot for relationships too, is opening up to new experiences and going out there on the edge, and we're not talking about jumping off the cliff here. You know, we're talking about taking little baby steps and trying new things, and that's what helps to spark the dopamine and reenact that in our bodies. Dopamine and oxytocin, so it helps that rekindling of a connection again. So that's really great stuff.
And it's a safe space in which to explore some simple yet very profound practices. The breathing techniques that Mari was talking about. You know, concentrating, it's also, you know, a form of yoga. You know, concentrating on the in-breath, concentrating on the out-breath. That's just a presence and an awareness to what's going on in that moment. And if we can start with ourselves and then perhaps do breathing together as a couple, breathing together at the same time, or your partner will exhale as you inhale, and you will inhale as he or she exhales. So it's synchronized, and what's the other word? Reciprocal.
Right, and again, some people get really caught up with that because it's very advanced to say, oh, okay, you inhale and you exhale. The keys are drop your jaw, relax your jaw, breathe in and out through your mouth. We know that for Tantra, open mouth breathing elicits orgasmic response in the body. So we inhale through our mouth, and then we exhale through our mouth. And you can use a ha or a ah sound, but moving energy that way. Start there and just be about breathing, presence with your eye gazing, and then worry later on with more advanced techniques about doing what we would call a energizing breath or harmonious breath, where you're breathing in sync. So
I guess that's true. When we saw Meg Ryan in whatever that movie was, her mouth was open when she was going through that orgasm.
Something about Sally, and it's funny you said that because I was in the middle demoing with my partner today, and all of a sudden, you know, I'm showing the position. We sat in a yab yum and we did a breath, and I literally did it for about 2 minutes, and I could feel instantly all of my chakras, my energy centers in my bodies were wakening up, and I let out this huge like like this, because it's moving this energy. And then the gentleman behind me said, I'll have what she's having. And the whole class broke out into laughter because we all know about that scene, right, with Meg Ryan.
I don't know if I've even seen the movie. I've seen the YouTube clip of it, though.
Well,
Fantastic.
It's a great movie. We'll have to watch that on Netflix, honey. It'll be a date night.
There you go.
So when you're teaching couples, you're obviously not teaching couples to do what you do in terms of being professional massage therapists. So you don't have to be with Mari, and you know you're fine just not really knowing any form of touch, because she's not teaching you to be massage professionals.
Correct. I'm teaching intention, coming from the heart. And when you come from the heart and your goal is to, I want to give you pleasure and receive pleasure, you know, it's a giving and receiving where at times you don't know who's really giving and receiving because you both are at the same time. That's the joy in this work. But again, with your intention being to just send loving, healing touch and not hurt your partner, you know, that's a great place to begin. It's just soft, gentle, loving touch.
Do you recommend that couples do this? Like, would I give to Dan, in the same session that he then gives to me? Or is it like, how do you do that?
That's
because
correct. So you
are
can.
Couples fighting over, I got to have my 30 minutes?
Right. No, not at all. So what I recommend is you can start off by saying, hey, sweetheart, you had a rough day today. How about I just give to you tonight? That's if you want to isolate and say, I want you just to receive. Okay, can do that. Or you can leave it open-ended and just say, hey, we've got 30 minutes, or an hour before the kids come home or we have an appointment. Connect, have that time, and just go with the dance of it all and just see where it takes you. And you're going to find that, if you want to lay and just passively receive, great. But on the other hand, you're going to see the dance and the merging and the melting of the energy, and it could go on to then more intimacy or intercourse, but it doesn't have to be there. It can also just be about giving each other this, beautiful love session together.
So, do you have any more French words, French techniques that you taught us?
Oh, I love tapotement, tapuma, tapotement. So, where you would take your hands almost like you're doing little mini karate chops.
Okay.
Keep your fingers nice and loose. This works great on fleshy areas like the shoulders, on the thighs, on our glutes. We know that our bum is our largest muscle in our body, and we don't help each other love up each other's bums enough. So go out there and start doing some tapotement on your beloved's bottom.
It helps
I'm
that
not going to get a bum wrap, am I?
But it does help that we're in the French.
I get you one.
We're in the French Caribbean islands, so she brought out all of her French. No, she's a trained professional, so she has all these techniques. They're well used.
Well, I like that we have words for it now, because I usually just call it, long stroking, soft stroking, whatever. So now, what was it? Effleurage?
Effleurage, petrissage.
Yeah.
And your tapotement, and
We have more?
there are a lot more. So just start the exploration of it all.
Yeah, simple basics. And again, it's not to, there's no competition, because simply the art of touch is what, as Marin says, it's nurturing, relaxing. It's also arousing. And when you were talking about the class today, there was fun and there was playing it. So with that laughter that you had, that's really what this is all about, is bringing more joy and focused attention.
Getting out of your head, right? We're all up here too much. This is why our society is so driven. Why are people taking all these medications? And there's all these drugs out on the market, and Viagra and Cialis and the blue pill, the green pill, the this. Now the new spray, I don't know if you saw on your TV last night, all about the Euphoria, the orgasm spray, which I'm actually kind of curious.
THC in it?
Yes. So I'm curious. I know it's available in Colorado and California. Good thing I'm in California.
Medically only in California.
Right. But we just have to get back into, letting go of, work. What's that saying? All work and no play makes so-and-so.
Johnny a dull boy.
There you go. So just, committing to taking sacred time together. Again, it doesn't have to be a whole day long. Great. If you have, a Saturday where you can clear everybody out of the house and you can create your sacred space and do some sensual massage, do some tantric breathing, then fantastic. But for a lot of us, we can't. So start with baby steps and get out that calendar and say, sweetheart, I want to adore you tonight. Let's spend a half an hour or so and spend some quality sacred time together.
And here's Mari, who obviously makes a living giving other people a massage, teaching you the gift of doing this with each other. So, in one sense, she's kind of given away her income, but it's so important that literally this is something that you can do at home for free. How fantastic to give your partner, a birthday gift or a Valentine gift of the touch of your own hands. Still, if you want that professional massage, you know who to go to.
Right, and I think it's always valuable. We have this tendency to think, oh, I need to go out and learn this stuff, but we get so caught up in our day-to-day business, whatever it is that's going on. It's always nice to have resources available to go to. So giving Mari a call when you don't have the time to provide it for your partner yourself, or if you just want to do like a couples kind of thing, give her a call, or other people that are out there doing it. So I think that's really valuable too. So
you talked earlier before when we were just talking, getting all the recordings on, you talked about your mobile spa and how you will then, obviously you're traveling and doing some teaching. What other types of things do you offer when you go out of your home studio and do your teachings?
So again, being a mobile spa, I can provide massages in your home, or I have 2 locations in Sunnyvale, California, and also in San Mateo, California. I also do corporate work, so I move around and I do a lot of corporate work. And I actually have had companies who want their employees to kind of come together, and we've done sort of brown bag lunch seminars on different topics. Due to confidentiality, I won't be mentioning any of those companies, but I think it's wonderful that there's companies out there looking at the well-being of their employees and wanting people to connect.
Valley.
Actually, you're right. I spent a lot of time there, obviously.
I was in Sunnyvale for a while.
Were you really? Okay.
Didn't know you then.
Yes. So it's great. I mean, there's many different options. I can also work, with a couple, and whether they want to learn more about the loving massage aspect, or they're wanting to sort of start and begin their the beginning journey of tantric, living in a tantric type relationship, exploring other things beyond just the basics of intercourse, but really learning how to bring in those elements that I also talk about all the time: breath, movement, and sound. Again, those key principles to being in a state of ecstasy.
So you were living in the Bay Area.
Correct.
You said San Mateo, Sunnyvale,
Yes.
so that's right in Silicon Valley. You travel elsewhere?
I do. It's pretty much, I kind of just go with the flow. I've got a very supportive husband and son, and my family, if I need to go and we need to go to another state, or exactly. So yeah, exactly. So just really, really flexible with, again, my big passion right now is bringing love and intimacy into people's lives. I know how it's affected my life, and not just my relationship with my children and my husband, but also sharing that with other people. And it brings me a lot of joy.
So what's a fun day at work look like for you?
Oh my gosh, a fun day at work. Let's see. Maybe I go into a company and I'm doing some chair massage, or I'm doing some table massage, where I bring in sort of all of my beautiful scents and lotions and oils, and I help bring some relief to people who sit all day long. Afternoon, go and do some one-on-one work with clients, and then maybe in the evening I end up having a small group where we'll come together and we'll do some meditations and start teaching some of these loving strokes, these great techniques.
So I want to talk, you earlier mentioned you were fortunate enough to study directly with Margo.
Yes.
Margo is doing very limited teaching here in the U.S. I believe she still does some teaching in France.
Like high level. Well, she's doing it here in the States too, but it's high level teacher training. Yeah.
So what was that experience like? Because she is, as she said, the grandmother of the Neo-Tantra movement. So what was that like for you?
It was beautiful. I was kind of what do you call it? Just starstruck when I first saw her, because her presence is just so authentic, and her voice and the way she carries herself. I mean, everything she does, the way she talks, the way she eats, the way she moves, is just so eloquent, and so she's just so present with each and every person. The way she looks at you, she's really there. She drops down and is just very, very present. I feel great joy. I did this work starting in my young 20s. I wish I'd have the opportunity to see her again now. I'm hoping miraculously maybe she'll come back to the Bay Area and host something. But it was a great, great experience, and being a young woman and just really starting to get into my sexuality and being okay with it, right? And expanding that. Now in my 40s, I find it even more valuable. I'm going through a lot of body changes, like a lot of us women in middle age, and so it's nice to still feel like I've got my goddess energy within me. And thanks to Margo Anand and my other teachers around the Bay Area, I feel great joy that I'm able to grasp this and use this Tantra in my life on a daily basis, whether I'm working, I'm eating, I'm dancing, or I'm conversing. Again, it's all with awareness. So I feel like our session here today has been quite tantric. So
yeah,
I thank both of you for that.
Well, and yes, thank you for that as well. I want to point out one thing that I've noticed about you in the few times I've come across you this trip. And it's something that's really important to me, and I think it's really helpful to differentiate. for the audience. You, I would describe you as an incredibly sensual person. So if you've been hearing the jingles and the jangles of her bracelet,
And chakra jewelry.
her chakra, well, they're even more potent that it's chakra jewelry. But the clothes that she's wearing, and I think when you were describing Margo Anand, that sensuality that she embraces. Yeah. And so I like to differentiate for clients and for people, especially women, how sensuality is just paying attention to any one of your particular senses. And it struck me when you said just the way that she's present when she eats, talking about Margo. So with you, the sound, I mean, you smell lovely.
See my earrings? My yoni earrings. These are my vagina yoni earrings.
Oh, those are gorgeous.
With my root chakra stone, the color red. So these are very sacred piece of jewelry. But with everything, you know, in the morning, the way that I wash my hair, the way that I shower with my beloved, even the way I bathe my son, the intention and the love that's there, which I've been missing desperately because we have baths every single day together, and I know he's missing mommy, so I'm coming home. I'm missing you soon. Don't worry. So yeah, just again, and smells. I love oils and lotions and just things that make me feel in my feminine. But then I also like things that put me in my masculine because, you know, we both have our sides, our Shakti and our Shiva sides. So, you know, maybe my more sandalwood. There's days where I just want to wear the sandalwood and get that really sort of earthy, grounded scent in my life. And, you know, there's days maybe I'm going to dress more in my deeper earth tones as opposed to, you know, my more vibrant colors. So, again, just having awareness in everything that I do, whether it's through my jewelry or my clothing. You know, I love soft fabrics, lingerie, when I choose to wear lingerie.
Used to wear lingerie?
And when she chooses.
When it chooses.
I mean,
chooses.
Look, come on, Dan, we're here on a nude cruise, right?
Yeah.
Used to wear lingerie.
I had to get dressed for the occasion.
Yes, you did. This is going out public on YouTube. But that whole art of, I think we've lost the art of sensuality, especially in the United States with that hurried, busy, frantic life. And so the simple things of, I mean, look at the beauty and the colors that Mari has chosen to wear. The noise even, the noise that she makes. She pointed out she specifically chose the root chakra red for her ears. So this is a woman who in my opinion, clearly pays attention. As she described for you, she's paying attention and has awareness to how she shampoos her hair. And I can imagine she specifically chooses a scent that she likes.
Absolutely.
So
and
even
maybe
that.
Do a video of her taking a shower.
No, the camera's not waterproof. But I mean, just imagine taking one of the senses and exploring that in your own day. Perhaps tomorrow, the day after you see this video, or right now. Really explore one particular sense. Maybe it is the sense of smell. And see what nuances and what subtleties you can find, because that is definitely one thing that I've noted about you.
So gift that to yourself. I challenge you, gift that to yourself with having, getting up in the morning, and even the way that you like walk into the shower, or the way that you disrobe to get into the shower, and pay attention to the way the water caresses your body, or the temperature of the water, the smell of your delicious shower gel. Maybe you've got a coconut lime or something beautiful to adorn your body with. Gift yourself with that first, and then when you have your date night, think about adorning yourself for your beloved. Adorning yourself with scents or smells or honey dust powder, or, you know, his favorite color or her favorite color, and, you know, wear something that just makes you really feel in your goddess.
So do you think specifically that last part of our conversation, both dominated by the women, what do you think, like, the men are going to go, ugh, I can't do that? Do you have any baby steps for the men to try?
Put on a pair of silky boxers. Go out and get some lovely satin boxers, or a color that you know that your beloved loves. Or maybe you know she loves the smell of this cologne or amber oil, or maybe you even go out and buy some beautiful flowers and you adorn the bedroom, or when she walks in the door, there's some beautiful red roses or whatever, again, her favorite flowers. A meal. maybe exotic Indian food tonight with lots of cardamom and cumin and coriander in it. So again, that's delighting the senses. Absolutely.
Because it has a sense of smell, which is how we can taste. So smell and taste go hand in hand. We all know that when you have a cold or some kind of sinus infection, our food doesn't taste good.
Bland.
So go out and explore and embellish any one of those tastes, flavors, so that you can heighten that particular sense of taste. So Mari, these are great tips for our couples, are great tips to actually just bring to yourself more awareness of what you like and dislike. Then you can take that into your partnership. If you had one last giveaway, because we're almost out of time, one last giveaway to like a single person.
On our
Impart on our audience.
Get out there and love each other up. Love each other up. Breathe each other in. Let each other in. Drink in each other's souls through your eye gazing, through your melting hug, or spoon together. Put on some beautiful music and extend your spooning either in the morning or at night.
Well, I think one of the tips that she provided earlier as well was schedule. We've got such busy schedules. Things are going on. Take the time to smell the roses, so to speak, which is really applicable here. We're on a cruise, so as we're doing this, I can look out the window behind the camera and see the beautiful ocean with the sun shimmering on the water. Just taking in all those senses, and you know, we open our door, I could smell the ocean, but doing this video right now. But take the time to do that. Actually, put it in your schedule to do that, because our calendars are so busy. That's one of the things I think is really valuable to do. And
speaking of busy schedules, Mari informed us, and we're holding to her boundaries. Mari informed us she only has a half an hour, and it fits in perfectly with the length of our Naked Talks. So that about wraps up tonight's Naked Talk.